If you're over 50 and your hips or knees feel stiff, achy, or unreliable, this episode will change how you move starting today. Now imagine this. You wake up in the morning and swing your legs over the side of the bed. But before your feet even touch the floor, you already feel it. That familiar stiffness in your knees, that deep ache in your hips. You stand slowly, carefully, wondering if today will be a good day or a bad one. And by the time you reach the bathroom, your joints are already telling you they're struggling. Sounds familiar? Now here's what most people are never told about osteoarthritis after 50. A major study published in 2020 by Osaka University's Department of Orthopedic Surgery tracked over 1,400 adults with hip or knee osteoarthritis and found something remarkable. More than 65% did not experience worsening pain because of cartilage damage alone. Instead, researchers linked increased stiffness and discomfort to lack of synovial fluid circulation, weakened supporting muscles, and joints that simply stopped moving through their full range, problems that medication alone cannot fix. And there is more. Seniors who reported the least pain and greatest mobility all shared one consistent habit. Each morning and throughout the day, they practiced a specific set of joint movements designed to lubricate the cartilage, strengthen the muscles, and restore confident movement. And Japan's oldest practicing doctor has been guiding patients through these exact exercises for over 6 decades. In clinical observations with hundreds of seniors, those who followed this sequence experienced significantly less morning stiffness, greater confidence in walking and climbing stairs, and reduced reliance on pain medication within just a few weeks. And today, he's going to show you the best exercises for osteoarthritis of the hip and knees. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast. Doctor, this is a topic so many people have been waiting for.
It is, my friend, because too many people believe that joint pain is simply the price of aging. They accept stiffness as permanent. They stop moving because movement hurts, and in doing so, they make the problem worse. Today we break that cycle with the best exercises you can do at home.
That really resonates. I see it constantly. Patients who have been told to rest, to avoid stairs, to stop doing the things they love, and slowly their world gets smaller.
Exactly. But the joint does not heal through stillness. It heals through gentle, intentional movement. There is a phrase I have used for decades. Motion is lotion. The more we move the joint correctly, the more it lubricates itself, nourishes the cartilage, and maintains its function. And that is what we will teach today.
So before we start, I want to hear from everyone watching. Comment a 1 if you experience morning stiffness in your hips or knees, and comment a 2 if your joint pain gets worse as the day goes on. Let us know where you're starting from.
Yes, please share. And know that wherever you are starting, these movements can help.
Doctor, before we get into the exercises themselves, I think everyone needs to understand something fundamental. What is actually happening inside the joint when osteoarthritis develops? And why does movement help rather than hurt?
This is something I wish every person with osteoarthritis understood. Inside your hip and knee joints, there is a liquid called synovial fluid. This fluid actively nourishes the cartilage, which is the smooth protective layer covering the ends of your bones. Cartilage has no blood supply of its own. It depends entirely on synovial fluid for nutrients, and here is the critical part. Synovial fluid is only produced when you move the joint or put weight on it.
So if someone stops moving because of pain, they're actually starving the cartilage of what it needs.
Exactly. Pain leads to less movement leads to less fluid leads to stiffer joints and more breakdown, which leads to more pain. The cycle continues until the person believes their joints are too damaged to recover.
That explains why so many patients feel worse after resting, especially in the morning.
Yes. During the night, you don't move for 7 or 8 hours. The synovial fluid thickens. Imagine a jar of honey sitting in the cold. It becomes crystallized, sluggish. But if you warm it gently and stir, it becomes liquid again. Your synovial fluid works the same way. Gentle morning movement warms and circulates that fluid. This is why I say motion is lotion.
And you organize these exercises into a specific framework?
Yes, I call it LAWS. Lubrication exercises done in bed each morning, aerobic exercise for heart health, weight-bearing exercises to strengthen muscles and bones, and stretching for flexibility. And today we focus on lubrication and weight-bearing. These are the foundation of joint health after 50.
All right, then let's start with the first exercise. What do we do before we even get out of bed?
Before we begin any movement, I recommend applying gentle heat to the joint if you have time. This could be a warm water bottle or a microwavable beanbag placed on the knee or hip for about 2 minutes. The warmth begins to soften the synovial fluid before you even start moving. But if you don't have those things, don't worry. The exercises themselves will create that warmth.
That's reassuring. So many people think they need special equipment to get started.
Not at all. Now for the first exercise, you remain lying on your back, which you could do in bed. This is intentional. We are not asking you to get up and stress the joints before they are ready. You begin where you are, with gravity working in your favor. Now bend both knees so your feet rest flat on the mattress. Then, one leg at a time, slowly extend the knee so the leg straightens completely. Hold for a moment, then bend it back down. That is 1 repetition.
So it's a simple bending and straightening motion.
Yes. This is the only movement the knee joint can make flexion and extension. But that simplicity is powerful. Each time you extend and flex, you are pumping synovial fluid across the cartilage surface. You are also gently waking up the quadriceps muscle at the front of your thigh and stretching the hamstrings at the back. We want to do this 8 times for each knee. If that feels comfortable over time, you can try build to 12, 15 or even 20 repetitions.
And because you're doing this in bed, there's no impact on the joint at all, right?
Correct. You are working against gravity just enough to strengthen the muscles, but there is no jarring, no pressure, no risk. This is how we teach the body that movement is safe again. Many of my patients tell me their knees feel completely different by the time they finish this one exercise. The stiffness begins to melt away.
That's exactly what people need to hear. The first step isn't scary or painful. It's gentle and it works.
And it prepares the knee for everything that comes next. But before we stand, we need to give the same attention to the hips. And for that, I have a movement that my patients actually enjoy.
I'm curious, what makes this one different?
Well, this exercise brings a little creativity into your morning routine. You remain on your back in bed. Bend one knee and lift that leg so the thigh is pointing towards the ceiling. Now, using your foot as a pen, draw the numbers 1 through 9 in the air. Make them large. Make them deliberate. Number 1, number 2, all the way through 9. Then switch legs and repeat.
I love that. It turns a therapeutic exercise into something almost playful.
Yes, and that playfulness matters. When people enjoy an exercise, they actually do it. But beyond enjoyment, this movement is remarkably effective. Drawing numbers requires your hip to move in every direction, forward and back, side to side, rotation in and rotation out. You are taking the hip joint through its complete range of motion, which floods the joint capsule with fresh synovial fluid.
And the bigger the numbers, the better?
Exactly. The larger your movements, the more lubrication you create. You are expanding the capsule, warming the fluid, and telling the hip that it is safe to move freely. Many people with hip osteoarthritis have unconsciously begun limiting their range. They take smaller steps. They avoid rotating. Over time, the hip forgets what it can do. This exercise reminds it.
Okay, how many times should someone do this?
Once through the numbers 1 to 9 on each leg is usually enough for the morning. That takes about 60 to 90 seconds per side. By the time you finish, both hips will feel warmer, looser, and more ready to bear weight. And that is the perfect moment to get out of bed.
So these first two exercises, the knee flexion and the numbers in the air, should be done every morning before standing.
Yes, that would be best. Think of them as your joint breakfast. You would never ask your body to run on empty. Don't ask your joints to bear weight before they've been lubricated. These two movements take less than 5 minutes, and they set the tone for the entire day.
That's such a simple habit to build. And now that the joints are warmed up, we move into the weight-bearing exercises?
Yes, now we stand. And the first standing exercise is one of the most effective movements you can do for both hips and knees.
Okay, let's hear it. Everyone stay with me.
For this exercise, you need a wall. Any wall in your home will work. Stand with your back against it, your feet about 1 foot away from the base. Your head, shoulders, and hips should all be touching the wall. From this position, slowly slide down, bending your knees as you lower your body. Go only as far as feels comfortable. Then hold.
How low should someone aim to go?
That depends entirely on their current ability. For some, a small bend is enough. For others, they can lower until their thighs are nearly parallel to the floor. The goal is not to go as deep as possible. The goal is to find a position where you feel the muscles working, hold it, and breathe.
And how long should they hold?
Please just begin with just 5 seconds, that's all. Then slide back up. Rest for a moment and repeat. Over time, everyone could build the hold to 10 seconds, then 20, then 30. The longer you hold, the more you strengthen the quadriceps, glutes, and all the muscles that support the hip and knee joints.
I imagine this is excellent for people who struggle with stairs or getting up from chairs.
It is for sure. Those daily activities require exactly the muscles this exercise strengthens. And because your back is supported by the wall, there is no risk of losing balance. You are training the legs in a completely safe environment. I recommend doing this several times throughout the day. Every time you pass a wall in your home, it becomes an opportunity.
That's a wonderful way to think about it. The whole house becomes a gym.
Right? And once you are comfortable with wall squats, the next two exercises will build even more strength in the hip specifically. So let's continue, shall we?
Locked in, doctor. Please go ahead.
For these exercises, you need a sturdy chair or countertop to hold for balance. This is not about testing your stability. It is about isolating the hip muscles while staying completely safe. Stand behind the chair with both hands resting on the back. Keep your body upright and your supporting knees slightly soft.
Okay, I'm picturing that. What's the first movement?
The first is hip abduction. With your body straight and toes pointing forward, slowly lift one leg out to the side. It is important to keep the knee straight and don't lean your trunk in the opposite direction. The movement comes purely from the hip. Lift as high as feels comfortable, pause for a moment, then lower with control. Do this 8 times, then switch legs.
And this targets the muscles on the outside of the hip?
Yes, the gluteus, medius, and minimus, which are essential for walking, stability. When these muscles are weak, people develop a wobble in their gait. They feel unsteady on uneven surfaces. Strengthening them restores confidence with every step. Now, the second movement targets the back of the hip. Still holding the chair, you lift one leg straight behind you. Again, keep the knee straight and the trunk upright. Don't arch your back. The movement is small but focused. Lift, pause, lower. 8 repetitions each side.
So we're strengthening the glutes from 2 different angles.
Exactly. Hip abduction works the side. hip extension works the back. Together they create a stable, strong foundation around the entire hip joint, and as you get stronger you can increase to 12, 15 or 20 repetitions. Some of my patients eventually add ankle weights, but that is optional and should only come after the movement feels easy.
What I appreciate about these exercises is how controlled they are. There's no jerky movements, no momentum.
That control is everything. Slow, deliberate movement strengthens the muscles more effectively and protects the joint from unnecessary stress. And it also keeps the exercise meditative and calming. You are not rushing, John. You are building.
This feels like a complete program already. But there are still 2 more exercises I see on our list.
Yes. And these final 2 are perhaps the most functional of all, so please keep listening. They directly improve your ability to do the things you do every day. The sit-to-stand exercise is exactly what it sounds like. You begin seated at the edge of a sturdy chair, one without wheels. Your feet are flat on the floor, hip-width apart. From here you stand up fully, then lower yourself back down with control. That is 1 repetition.
It seems simple, but I imagine the way you do it matters.
Enormously. The key is control, especially on the way down. Anyone can drop into a chair. But lowering slowly, resisting gravity, that is what builds strength in the quadriceps and hamstrings. I tell my patients to count to 3 or 4 as they lower. Feel the muscles working. Don't collapse at the end. Touch the seat lightly and rise again.
How many repetitions should someone do?
I would say begin with 8. When that feels manageable, increase to 12, then 15, then 20. Some of my patients do this every time they sit down throughout the day. Every chair becomes a training opportunity. Over time, they notice they no longer need to push off with their arms. They no longer avoid low sofas. Their legs become reliable again.
And the step exercise?
For this, you need stairs or a single step. And importantly, a railing to hold. Safety comes first. Stand facing the step. Place your right foot up onto the step. Press through that leg to lift your body, then step back down. Repeat with the same leg for 1 minute, or count 20 repetitions. Then switch to the left leg and repeat.
So you're training each leg individually?
Yes. This isolates the work and reveals any imbalance between sides. Many people discover one leg is significantly weaker. That is valuable information. It shows you where to focus. And this exercise is particularly important because stair climbing is one of the first abilities people lose with hip and knee osteoarthritis. By training it deliberately, you preserve it.
Can this be done sideways as well?
Absolutely. Standing beside the step, you can step up laterally and back down. This works the muscles on the side of the hip, similar to the abduction exercise. Doing both forward and lateral step-ups creates comprehensive strength around the entire joint, I promise.
This really is a complete program. Lubrication in the morning, weight bearing throughout the day.
Yes. And together, these 7 exercises can genuinely transform how your hips and knees feel. But before we finish, there is something important I must share for certain listeners.
All right, please everyone, stay with us. Doctor, what are you talking about?
Before we finish, I must share something important for certain listeners. If you have had a recent hip replacement, your surgeon likely gave you specific precautions. Certain movements can put the new hip at risk of dislocation. You should avoid crossing your legs, bending your hip past 90 degrees, and twisting at the hip. Some of today's exercises may not be appropriate for you in the first 3 to 6 months after surgery. Always check with your surgeon first.
That's critical. Every surgery and recovery timeline is different.
Exactly. And for everyone, I want to leave you with this thought. Consistency matters more than intensity. You do not need to do these exercises perfectly. You do not need to push through pain. You simply need to show up every morning and move with intention. Small efforts repeated over weeks create lasting change.
That's such a hopeful message. The body can still adapt even after 50, 60, 70 years.
It can. I have seen people who thought they would never walk comfortably again reclaim what they thought was lost. Your joints want to move. They are waiting for permission. Start tomorrow morning with 2 exercises in bed before you stand. And let us know in the comments how it goes.
Thank you, Doctor. To everyone listening, if this episode helped you, help us back by giving it a thumbs up and subscribe. And make sure to watch this next episode.
Oh, this is a good one. People should see
Should
this.
definitely watch. See you there.